Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to the UFC Overload blog. And something funny that I just found out, actually, my webcam only goes to 10 minutes. And there was 7 fights that I talked about. And so it cut off about 3/4 of the way through. I didn't even realize it. So I feel like I got my dunce hat on or something. So I'll try and keep it quicker this time. But what I'm talking about today is the results from the UFC Fight Night on FUELTV. And starting off, awesome card. Every fight was awesome. I'm not going to lie at all. Definitely y'all need to tune into the free events, because the free events, it's like the kids have a chip on their shoulder for not being on the pay-per-view, because everybody knows that's how UFC got their start, was pay-per-view, so those are always the big events. But if you want to see people come to scrap and have a dogfight, free TV, man. Free TV, Fuel, and FX, those are always going to be some awesome cards to watch for some action. And first up on the card was Ivan Minjabar versus John Albert. And this was awesome. This is for real round of the year consideration between these two bantamweights. Non-stop action. On the ground, John Albert in the first round was definitely going for tons of submissions. Getting rocked around a little bit, though. They stand him up, and Albert's getting the best of him in the stand-up, definitely. Takes it down, Minjabar. Minjabar gets taken down, but he gets the reverse on him, and within about 3 seconds, he gets a rear naked choke like that. He got a submission of the night for first round rear naked choke. It was awesome. And then the second fight was T.J. Dillashaw versus L. Watson, another bantamweight bout. And Dillashaw, you might recognize him from the UFC Ultimate Fighter. He actually got runner-up. He lost to John Dodson, he's got some heavy hands, no disrespect for that. But this fight was all Dillashaw all the time. Oh my gosh, the scores from the judges were like 30-25, 30-25, 30-26, which just says domination. And he just took him down to the ground and just pounded on him the whole time. The total strikes were 172 for Dillashaw to 12 for L. Watson. That's like, I can't understand how that happens. Only 12 hits compared to 172. So obviously Dillashaw is the most dominating thing you'll ever see without a finish. But it was still a good fight. L. Watson was still fighting real hard in the third round. Nearly got a submission, but he just didn't have it tonight. Dillashaw got him. And then the next fight, they went up to the heavyweights. It was Stipe Miocic versus Phil DeFries. And, I mean, they come out guns blazing, of course. First round, even for heavyweights, they got to show something at first before they gas out, right? But so DeFries comes out and just rocks Miocic right off the bat. He didn't have a whole lot of movement, so he got popped real solid. But right after he rocked him, so DeFries gets a little wild and just comes in after him, and Miocic's able to back it up, and he gets a counter. Boom! Solid straight right on the button, and he just knocks back DeFries like 3-4 feet right up against the cage. Just gets another punch, brings him to the ground. Boom, boom, another punch. Game over, man. 43 seconds in, knockout of the night, first round. Awesome fight. Awesome 43-second. Awesome round, I guess. In the next, they stayed. Nope, they didn't stay in the heavyweight. I'm sorry. They went to middleweight. Aaron Simpson versus Ronnie Marks. And Marks, man, this fool is huge. He's just like so stout. It's the first time he fought at middleweight. He dropped a weight class. On fight night, he weighed 216 pounds. So he gained 30 pounds from the previous day when he weighed in. And this was the worst fight of the evening, definitely, that they showed. But I mean, it was still a good fight. There was action the whole time. Aaron Simpson was the closest one to finishing the fight. He clipped Marks real good in the first round with an uppercut, but just couldn't make the finish. And then after that, Marks wasn't in any danger. He was winning. He was using his legs a lot better, getting some kicks in there. And so Marks ends up winning by a split decision. It's pretty close. Not a whole lot, not as much action as fast paced, but it was still a good fight. Marks ends up getting a split decision, like I said. And then we go back to heavyweights for Dave Sasquatch Herman, who, I mean Sasquatch in every sense of the nickname. He had a full mountain man beard, dude. Neck beard down to like the freaking hair on his chest, hair on his shoulders, man. Didn't shave anything. He's got hair everywhere, so I just wouldn't even want to touch him. I wouldn't go to the ground. I'd keep it standing. I'm not going to be rubbing up on that and get some hair on my... Ugh, I don't even want to think about it. But anyways, it was Dave Herman versus Stefan Struve, who is 6'11", huge. He's been fighting in the UFC since he was 18. He's only 23 now, so he's still real young, got a lot of career left ahead of him. He can improve a lot. And Herman won the first round, nearly knocked out Struve, but just wasn't able to get the finish. And then in the second round, Struve starts using his freaking huge distance. He's 6'11", so I mean he's always got the reach advantage. And he was able to get him with a solid uppercut, bah, right on the chin. Not Marks, that was last fight. I'm crazy. Herman just drops, man, goes to the ground, and when you get somebody that is 6'11", 250 pounds in full mount, just pounding on you, there's nothing you can do. Herman couldn't get him off for about 20 seconds, so he was just doing the Brock Lesnar, turtled up, taking punches. Not a whole lot of damage, but taking punches, and was in a defenseless position pretty much. So the ref had to call it. TKO knockout for Stefan Struve in the second round. But like I said, pretty much just going with the whole rest of the evening. Awesome fight. First round was real entertaining, all action in the second round as well. And then it was the main event. It'd be Diego Sanchez versus Jake Ellenberger. And Jake Ellenberger was in his hometown of Omaha fighting. So obviously he's going to be pumped up. The whole crowd was there for him. Obviously Diego Sanchez gets booed on his way out. Coming to the cage. But I mean, that's expected, when the hometown kid's in town. And but Diego, though, you always got to watch out for Diego because they call him the Nightmare. That's his nickname. He got it for a reason, 100% for a reason. He comes at you no matter what. In all his fights, it seems like he gets cut in every fight. He's cut here, he's cut on his nose, he's got his eye hanging out of its socket, but he's still coming, eating punches, giving punches. He don't give a shit. He's Honey Badger. He don't give a shit. And so it's awesome watching him fight every time. And in the first round, Jake Ellenberger, just domination, man. Nearly knocks out Sanchez twice. And one was actually at the end of the round. Like, he clips him real good and gets him rocked, but then, horn sound, so he's got to go back to his corner, unfortunately for him. But so second round was more of the same. Diego's still pushing the pace, though. He's coming forward the whole time. And but, I mean, he was not effective. He said he had an ankle injury, and everybody booed him when he said that, of course, making excuses. But he looked a little bit slower, or maybe Jake Ellenberger's that quick, because Ellenberger, I mean, he looked like Anderson Silva in there, always backing up, just popping him with the jabs, real accurate with everything he was throwing. So it's pretty much more of the same from the first round and the second. But then in the third, Ellenberger, took his foot off the throttle for whatever reason. I mean, it seemed like. That's what it seemed like if you're watching the fight. And Diego Sanchez wins the third round, nearly finishes him in the last minute. He gets on top of him, gets full mount, gets his back, so he nearly gets the rear naked choke. And, I mean, he's just pounding on him. So, but the horn, whatever, the horn sounds, so he's not able to get the finish like he needed. But if it would have gone 2 more rounds like was supposed to be scheduled, main events are supposed to be 5 rounds, Dana White said, my bad, we're not doing that again. Main events from here on out are going to be 5 rounds. So Ellenberger ends up winning the first 2 rounds, and so he wins the fight by unanimous decision against Sanchez, who is pretty mad. He was still pumped up after the fight. He wanted to go 2 more rounds, he was saying. And so, I mean, all in all, it was an awesome card between everybody. Oh, I'll tell you about the bonuses. Fight of the night bonus, of course, goes to the main event as long as it's halfway decent. And this one was definitely way better than halfway decent. Good fight. So Diego Sanchez and Jake Ellenberger got fight of the night bonus. Step Miocic got knockout of the night for his freaking demolishing of DeFries. And then the first fight on the card got submission of the night. It was Ivan Menjivar versus John Albert. So all of them got to take home an extra $50,000, so that's good for them. But now I'm keeping track of the timer, and I'm at 9 minutes, so I've been rambling a bit. So I'm going to wrap it up. Awesome fight. I'm just saying, y'all need to check out all the free cards. And next week, I'll be putting out my predictions for UFC 144, which is lightweight title, or headlined by the lightweight title fight, Frankie Edgar versus Ben Henderson. That's going to be an epic fight. This week, I'll just be keeping you posted about some other situations going on in the UFC. I'll be posting some highlights as well. And more of the same next week until I get to my predictions and everything like that. But peace out, man. Y'all have a good one.